While some players love to beat games in one sitting, others prefer to take their sweet time and get the most out of everything. It makes sense given that gaming isn't the cheapest pastime, especially with constantly increasing prices. And we can't blame anyone for wanting to get the best deal for their money. So in this video, we are going to talk about some of the best games with engaging gameplay that will keep you busy for hundreds of hours. We must admit that they're mainly RPGs, but they're so varied that everyone will find something to their taste. And we've got a lot of fun and exciting games to talk about here. So let's get started off with number 10. We have Monster Hunter World. We'd like to start our list with a popular franchise, and chances are you're already familiar with it. The mainline series doesn't change much in terms of what players can expect. It's still a game centered around finding different massive monsters, fighting them, and gathering loot. The game also has a large open world with its own ecosystem. For example, you can make one monster fight another and watch from a safe spot. You also have a huge range of weapons to choose from, allowing for different playstyles and strategies, so you can approach each battle in a way that suits you best. This game is great for those who don't care much about storylines, but love a good gameplay. With all the exploration and big fun boss battles, it's definitely one of the longest games to finish. Next, over at number 9, we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The Assassin's Creed games started off red hot, then kind of stumbled and then made a big comeback with Assassin's Creed Odyssey in 2018. This game is often seen as one of the best in the series, building on what Origins introduced and adding even more features. And the world is much bigger, there are more quests to complete, and the combat is more action-focused. You can also choose to play as either a male or female character, with the main story taking around 50 hours to finish. And if you aim to complete everything in this massive open world, it can take around like 150 hours. Odyssey raised the bar for the series, and even its sequel didn't quite reach the same level. While there isn't a PS5 version, the PS4 game works perfectly on the newer console, and it still looks pretty good. Moving on to number 8, we have Days Gone. Former PlayStation exclusive Days Gone made the leap over to PC in early 2021, following in the footsteps of Horizon Zero Dawn. This game doesn't get as much love as Horizon, but a big part of that is due to its slow burn of an opening. It takes Days Gone many hours to really kick it into high gear, and some people burn out in the opening act. But if you stick with it, there's plenty to enjoy in this gritty, post-apocalyptic open world. If you focus on the main story, you'll finish in about 50 hours. But How Long to Beat says it can take up to 100 hours if you explore everything and go after all the extras. Even if the story doesn't connect with everyone, players can still enjoy riding their bike through a stunning world while dodging zombie hordes. And next, at number 7, is Death Stranding. Kojima Productions' Death Stranding is a game that not everyone will enjoy, but no one can say that this game failed to deliver a unique experience. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic United States, where you play as a delivery guy named Sam, who travels across the country delivering packages and connecting a network. People have mixed opinions on the game. Some find it a boring walking simulator, while others consider it an unforgettable journey. And no matter which side you're on, you'll spend hours playing this game. The gameplay is satisfying. The graphics are stunning, and Norman Reedus does a great job as Sam. However, if you're not a fan of long cutscenes, you might want to think twice before picking it up, or at least grab some snacks because you're in for a real show here. Let's move on to number 6 and talk about Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon is hands down still the best arcade racing game series out there. And its 5th installment just takes that open-world action to a whole new level. The game is set in a fictionalized version of Mexico, and it's got the biggest map ever seen in the series. However, hunting down hidden cars in barns all over Mexico never gets old, especially when there's a new race or surprise waiting around every turn. And just switching car classes can make each race feel totally different, even before you start messing with the tuning. And you can also create your own race challenges or try out ones made by other players. And if you're the type who loves checking off every box and collect all 500 plus cars, You'll be racing for a long time and loving every minute of it. Down at number 5, we have The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. We feel it would be a crime to exclude The Witcher 3 from this list, as it provides hours of fun with its buzzing open world full of secrets to uncover and an exciting story with great characters. It's not only one of the most exceptional open-world RPGs of all time, but it's also one of the longest open-world games out there, and it takes around more than 150 hours to complete. In addition, the game received a free next-gen update that improved its already stunning graphics. Its enemy variety and character customization are masterful. Although the base game is enjoyable on its own, adding the content from 2 massive story expansions grants you an ultimate fantasy experience. There's not really any other games releasing like these right now, so don't miss out on this one. Next, over at number 4, we have Starfield. Starfield was expected to be one of the most exciting and groundbreaking games ever. Sadly, it didn't quite meet all expectations, and the gaming community has mixed opinions, but there's still a lot to enjoy in this title. And it is right up there with its Elder Scrolls and Fallout counterparts in being one of the longest games you can buy. After all, it offers a vast universe to explore with plenty of different planets, tons of side missions to complete, and other activities to enjoy. Discovering all of Starfield's secrets requires dozens, if not hundreds of hours of space travel. To some gamers, it's going to be a chore, but many fell in love with this. And there is also a new releasing DLC, which is sure to increase that hour count all the more. And despite certain negative feedback, the title offers a good time for all, and everybody should experience it while they can. And next at number 3 is Cyberpunk 2077. 2 of CD Projekt Red's games have made our list, and it's no surprise. After a lengthy development, Cyberpunk 2077 simply had to be massive, and it certainly is, especially with the addition of the Phantom Liberty DLC and the latest updates that introduce new vehicles among other things. I know this game didn't get off to the best start, but following these major updates, the game has come on leaps and bounds, and now warrants its titanic runtime. While its main story missions don't run quite as long as other games on the list, there's a huge amount of side content to dive into across Night City that'll keep you busy for hours on end. We'd estimate it taking you anywhere between 60 to 100 hours, depending on how much of that side content you dive into. And those who'd like to explore every nook and cranny of Night City should prepare for over 100 hours of playtime. Moving on to number 2, we have Elden Ring. Elden Ring is a title that surely doesn't need an introduction. But in case you didn't know, this game is a From Software production that won over the hearts of millions of players all over the world, and it received the Game of the Year award in 2022. Given everything from the polished combat system to the dark open world, it's not surprising that you'll spend hours upon hours exploring this gorgeous world. While the main story can be completed in less than 50 hours or even faster if you're a series veteran, there's still a staggering amount of content to dive into, side quests to complete, and of course lots of boss battles that'll make you launch your controller out the window. Anyway, this game is one of the most well-rounded games in the industry and has set a new standard for open-world games. Finally, at number 1, we have Red Dead Redemption 2. There are probably very few players who haven't yet come across this title. Red Dead Redemption 2 is highly acclaimed for its lively open world, gripping story, and varied gameplay. Just following the main story could take over 100 hours, and if you're aiming to complete everything, it could take double or even triple that time depending on your skills. Besides the main and side missions, players can do activities like fishing and hunting. There are also bounties to hunt, hidden treasures to find, new people to meet along the way, and lots of secrets to uncover. All these things blends together so well that it's easy to get pulled back into the game's world again and again. However, this game is without a doubt one of the best representations of the Wild West in the gaming history. Besides the games I talked about in this video, there are a few more games I'd like to recommend. These games are quite popular, but just in case you haven't heard of them, which I highly doubt, they are Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Horizon Forbidden West, No Man's Sky, Fallout 4, and last we have Microsoft Flight Simulator. Of course, there are so many other games, though, that we couldn't squeeze on this list. So I'd love to hear your choices down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video.